Thank you for having me today. It was by the um, desire of His Grace Yugal Kishore Prabhu when His Grace Ramchandra Prabhu reached out. Then he gave instruction to me to speak on this subject matter for today. I'm thoroughly unqualified to be speaking in the assembly of so many Varisht Vaishnavas like His Grace Ramchandra Prabhu. My um, my my introduction to him has been very limited, but it has been very inspiring because we had an opportunity to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from Prabhuji. And it is so inspiring to see. I wanted to share my heartfelt feelings to see the young generation, the next generation of our movement, taking it up to the kirtan. So thank you, Madhav Prabhu, for singing such a wonderful kirtan. It's a desire of every devotee that when the kids, their children hit the teens, right? At that time, they take up to bhakti. There cannot be anything better than that. So I would also like to welcome. Um, I think we have with us joining for the first time one Mataji, Sarga Shri Mataji. So thank you for joining our program. I would like to beg all of you to please bless me. You all are very elder to me, and I seek your sincere blessings so I could speak something on Bhagwan on this very celebrated topic, right? So I would like to seek your blessings and seek the blessings of Sri Guru. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं। हरे कृष्णा। So thank you for joining this Sunday evening. We are preparing for a very important festival which is just 1 week away from us now. It is the Gaur Purnima. It is celebrated in India as that Purnima is also celebrated as Holi. So one or the other way, we all are celebrating a very special day. And in our attempt to prepare our consciousness for this festival, ISKCON of Bergen County is doing this series of um, programs geared towards that, and it's my great opportunity to be able to share some of my learnings, so that we can all prepare our consciousness towards this great festival. So once again, thank you for having me, and I would like to start by first mentioning, because my topic is going to go a little deeper into understanding a movement, a bhakti movement that started 500 years ago. And for that, it is very important to introduce and to know who is Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Many of you may have already heard, and you know, and there may be a very strong connection and relation that you have with this personality. But for those of you who are very new to this personality, I would like to tell you from the roots who Mahaprabhu is. So, Krishna, we all know Lord Shri Krishna. It is said and it is explained in great details in Srimad Bhagavatam and in Brahma Samhita and in Bhagavad Gita, how there are so many incarnations that we have witnessed as early as and ever since this universe has begun. So every time there is a purpose, and every time there is a particular need of the humanity at large, or of this entire existence at large, then the Lord manifests himself. To do a particular purpose, to fulfill a particular purpose, it takes on a particular form with a particular emotion. And to sum all these, Srimad Bhagavatam conclusively declares, Ete cha amsha kalah pumsa Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. Swayam Bhagwan is Krishna. Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mridyanti Yuge Yuge. That all these incarnations that you have seen, all these incarnations, they are either plenary portions or portions of plenary portions of one personality, and that personality is the original God, Lord Shri Krishna. All of them, they appear on planets based on purpose and particular bhav, millennium after millennium. So, Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita that he comes paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam, to deliver the perfected devotees and to annihilate the miscreants. Dharm samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. To re-establish the principles of religion, he keeps coming. Millennium after millennium, yuga after yuga. And he spoke like this in Bhagavad Gita. And then he saved the son of Uttara, King Parikshit, when he was in the womb. This last survivor of the Kuru Vansh went on to become a very pious king 5,000 years ago when Mahabharata had ended. And when it came to a point where he was cursed to die in 7 days, Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken. When Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken, Bhagavad Gita was spoken, it gave us a way of life. It gave us a way by which we can all live in harmony with nature around us, with people around us, with morality, with ethics. But in the absence of an inspiring personality, in the absence of an example, it is very difficult for people like me, for people in general, to be able to fathom the practicality of an instruction, how to do this. it says it's all sounds so very beautiful. All these beautiful messages, how to live that life. At that point, Krishna decided to appear as Shriman Mahaprabhu. We could talk on this advent of Mahaprabhu itself for at least 2 or 3 hours. Today I wouldn't be covering that, but having established Mahaprabhu understanding that he is an incarnation of Krishna, I would today like to touch upon what was his purpose, what was his mission, why did he come, what was it that he wanted to give, and where did he start that? So he started that in a place in West Bengal, the way we know it, West Bengal as of today. There's a place called Mayapur. And in Mayapur, there's a place called Srivasa's house. There's a personality, Srivas Pandit. And in his courtyard, this Yug Dharma began, that for next 4,32,000 years, there would be one thing which can be done to perfect your life in a perfect way. It started from his courtyard. What was that? I would like to present that. It was and it is known as the Sankirtana Movement. Some of you may have heard Hare Krishna movement. Hare Krishna movement was extended and brought to the world's attention by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who started this International Society of Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON temples. But this movement was started 500 years ago. The movement of Sankirtan. Sankirtan means when like-minded devotees who have faith in God, they come together and they chant the holy names of Krishna, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, just like dear Madhav Prabhu sang so nicely this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So at this point, I would also like to say, if you have any questions, just unmute yourselves and I'll stop and I'll see if you have any questions. You can interrupt me or you can send me in chat and I would then and there try to answer, or we can speak to it when we end. Okay. Quick question here, Govind Prabhuji. How long do we usually go, Prabhuji?
Yeah, usually the class is for 1 hour, so it goes till 8:30.
Okay.
We
Thank you,
can take
Prabhuji.
we have a little bit of time buffer, so we can.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. So I will get going. Jai. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. You will see that when Lord comes as Lord Ram, he does not come alone. Lakshman ji comes with him, Mother Sita comes with him, and there are so many others, Bharat Maharaj, Shatrughna. And even in the Vanar Sena, it is told that there are demigods who had taken avatars just to assist Lord. He never comes alone. When Krishna came, it was Balram ji, Radharani, and there were so many devatas who came as Gopas. And then there were these most exalted devotees, the gopis, who are sages and munis from past lives. Similarly, when Krishna comes as Mahaprabhu, he comes with Balramji, Lakshmanji, and that form is Lord Nityananda. There is Advaita Acharya, who is also a great devotee of the Lord to start with. There is Gadadhar Pandit. And on your right, you see a personality folding hands with Srivas. Srivas represents us in this group of five, the Panch Tattvas. He represents us, the Jivatmas, one soul, right? I would like to tell you today that his courtyard there is compared sometimes to the place where it all started, the Leelas happened, and so his his place is considered a very special place. And Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, he says that just like in Vrindavan there was Rasasthali, where Krishna performed his Ras Leela pastimes, Srivasa Angan is the similar place where Lord Krishna in the form of Mahaprabhu performed his pastimes. As far as Sankirtan movement is concerned, where did it all start? I'm going to share with you today the first Sankirtan, where it all began. Some glories of Srivasangan, how the nightly Sankirtans began, and a, a pastime which changed it all, the Khol Bhanga Danga Leela. That is another name of Srivasangan. After that, I would like to share some lessons from this very personality, Srivas Pandit, some lessons that we can learn from this Srivas Angan and the community around it, and then a little more about what this mission was. So the first Sankirtan, how it happened was that Mahaprabhu's father, Srila Jagannath Mishra, passed away. He passed away the same year when Mahaprabhu was married to Sri Vishnu Priya Devi. One day, Lord Chaitanya, he went to his mother, Sachi Devi, and Vishnu Priya, and he said that I am going to Gaya. Gaya is a place where the pindas, the sacred rites, are performed for the departed ones. So the mother gave her blessings. Vishnu Priya Devi humbly agreed. And Mahaprabhu, that is Lord Shri Chaitanya, he used to be a teacher by then. He was known as Nimai Pandit. His name was Nimai Pandit. He was born under a tree of neem tree. And neem is very medicinal. So seeing that as an auspicious thing, the community gave him the name Nimai. So Nimai Pandit was very scholarly. He knew the Shastras very thoroughly and deeply. And so he used to teach the students. So with some students, he went to Gaya. I would again cut this part short, but this is where a transformation took place. When Mahaprabhu was in Gaya, he saw his spiritual master, he met his spiritual master, his guru, a personality by the name Ishwarapuri. And just simply by meeting him, he was so much filled with love towards Krishna that they went in ecstasy, and he said, "You please accept me as your disciple." So this form of the Lord, the purpose of this avatar, the purpose of Krishna coming as Mahaprabhu is to teach us by his own example how we can be devotees, perfect devotees of Krishna. He got initiated, he took Diksha from Ishwarapuri, in Gaya, and he was given the instructions to chant the holy names of Krishna, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And Mahaprabhu, when Nimai Pandit, he got initiated by the name Gaura Hari. Gaura Hari started coming back to his hometown Navadvip, the Mayapur region, and he was constantly chanting. And in those chantings, he would start feeling his love for Krishna, love for God, and the separation sometimes because the God, Krishna, Lord Krishna is not in front of him. He would start feeling those emotions so deeply that he would start showing ecstatic symptoms like fainting or crying or falling on the ground unconscious, froth coming out. There are ashtasattvic vikars. When he came back, his teacher was Ganga Das Pandit. He said, Nimai Pandit, you were away from some time. Do you know your students love you so much that when you were gone, they didn't even want to open their books. So now you have come. You must immediately start your classes again. By this time, Mahaprabhu was so much in deep love and meditation on Krishna and being an expert in the Vedas. When he would start teaching, when he started teaching his students grammar and logic, he would start reaching the conclusions of logic, nyaya, and grammar, which is called vyakran. And he would reach the root of that, the conclusion of that, and that conclusion ends in the source of entire existence, which is the absolute truth, which ends in etecha amsha kalapumsa krishnastu bhagwan swayam. So he would ultimately reach the conclusion of the subjects of every subject is ultimately the subject Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Adir Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam, cause of all causes Krishna. So he will, whatever topic he will start, he will reach Krishna. He will start talking about Krishna, Krishna's mercy, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's love, and he will go into ecstasy. And students were really bewildered. So he will go into this ecstasy, he will be crying for Krishna, he will be meditating, and after some time he will come back to external consciousness and he will ask, what did I say? And the students would say, we don't know what you said, but it was wonderful. We have never heard anything like this. And all you talk about was Krishna. You said, chant the names of Krishna. So he was puzzled. He didn't know. He said, okay, we are done for today. And like that, it went on for next day as well. Then the next day, 3-4 days. Some of the students then went to Ganga Das Pandit, who was his teacher. And in that sense, you can call him, he was the principal. So he said that we love this, but Gaura Hari Nimai Pandit, ever since he has come back, he only talks about Krishna. Ganga Das Pandit became very serious. He said, this is a serious issue. We need to address this. So he went to Mahaprabhu and he said, see, my dear Nimai Pandit, your father Jagannath Mishra was a great devotee of Krishna, correct? Yes. Your grandfather Nilambar Chakravarti was also a very great devotee of Krishna. Yes. I also worship Krishna. But we didn't give up our lessons, teaching the lessons properly. So this is your dharma. So will you teach Nyaya and grammar? And Lord Chaitanya said, yes, my dear teacher, I will certainly teach only Nyaya and grammar. What you are saying is right. And so the next day, the students went again. Mahaprabhu sat down and he started teaching Nyaya and grammar. Now what happened? That nearby there was a house of one very great devotee called Ratna Garbha Acharya. And when he started reciting Srimad Bhagavatam in his house, and he was on 10th canto, And he was talking about how they were Brahmana's wives who had left everything. As soon as they got to know that Krishna and Balram are hungry and they are in a forest, they took everything from the house, and everybody was telling them, you cannot go, how can you go, and this is not correct, we will leave you if you left the house. But they did not care for anything, and they went to Krishna and Balram. And the moment Mahaprabhu heard this, he went into ecstasy again. And when he went into ecstasy again, he started chanting loudly, and he started saying that, repeat this, say these verses again and again. These are so nectarian. This is the goal of life. To hear about Krishna is the goal of life. And then, after some time, he asked the students, what did I say today? And they said, well, you were talking about Krishna, but we understood. You said that the goal of life is to chant the holy names of Krishna. And you have in past so many days explained us from all aspects that that is the goal of everyone's life. By that we will attain perfection of our lives. So Mahaprabhu said, no, but I cannot teach you anymore. I cannot think of anyone other than Krishna, and that's why I am not in a position to talk about these subject matters anymore. You please go and find some other teacher. The student said, we cannot, after accepting you, O perfect one, O Nimai Pandit, after accepting you, we cannot accept anyone else as our teacher. But we don't know how to do this Harinam Sankirtan. So you please teach us how to do this Harinam Sankirtan. And then Mahaprabhu, he said, okay, this is how you should do it. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. All the boys, they made a circle around Nimai Pandit. He was dancing in the center and singing, and all the boys were also dancing and singing. And there was so much tumultuous sound. They started playing mradanga and they started playing kartals, and this was all happening on the bank of Ganga. And there were people who used to go from here and there, and they all started hearing that there are all these students. They are singing so loudly. And then the devotees that used to live in that area, they got to know that there is some festivity happening, and so they all started coming, and they saw that Nimai Pandit, who was such a scholarly person, who was known to be expert in the Shastras, the devotees used to pray, if Nimai Pandit became a devotee, then everybody would know that the goal of life is to become a devotee of Krishna. And today they were so happy because they saw that not only he was singing and dancing on Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but he was making even so many scores of students dance. This was the first Nam Sankirtan. It began in Navadvip. With that, those students, they not only took up to Harinam, but by the association with this special incarnation of Krishna, they became pure devotees, Shuddha Bhakta. I will move forward. After this, Mahaprabhu stopped teaching, and vast majority of their time was spent in Srivasanga. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur describes that just as Lord Shri Krishna was born, where was he born? He was born in the house of Vasudeva and Devaki in Mathura. But he performed his leelas in the courtyard of Nanda Baba and Yashoda. Similarly, Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born to Srila Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi, but their next door neighbor was Srivas, and he performed all his pastimes, all his leelas in Srivasa Angan. And therefore, Srivasa Angan is sometimes described as being non-different from the Rasthali of Vrindavan. In Srivasa Angan, Mahaprabhu started. That was just the first Nam Sankirtan, but after that, the Nam Sankirtan moved to Srivasa Angan. Srivasa Angan is therefore called the Rasasthali of Navadvip, corresponding to Rasasthali of Vrindavan. Now somebody may ask, why Srivasa Angan? I would like to tell you that Srivas were four brothers: Srivas Pandit, Shripati, Shriram, and Srinidhi. All these four brothers, they were experts in doing kirtan, and they were probably not doing as much kirtan and with as much ecstasy as Mahaprabhu brought it, but that was the place where Vaishnavas used to come together and they used to do kirtan already. Lord tells Narad Muni, Naham tisthami vaikunthe yoginam hridayeshu va yatra gayanti madbhakta tatra tisthami Narada. Oh Narada, you should know that I am not in Vaikuntha, nor I am in the hearts of the yogis who sit down to meditate upon my impersonal form. I remain where my devotees come together and sing my glories. And it was for that reason that Krishna and Balram, that is Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they literally spent their days and nights in Srivasa Angan, immersed in these holy names. So, one day what happened? To talk a little bit about Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, this very special incarnation of Balram ji, he had come to Mayapur, and he was born in Nadia, right? So from Nadia he had come to Mayapur, but he had no home here. So sometimes he would mostly he would stay at Srivas Pandit's house. Sometimes he would go to other devotees' place and stay there. Otherwise, he was just living like that, like a mendicant. So, in Srivas's house, one night, Nityananda Prabhu roared like a lion, and then he started breaking things. He broke his danda, he broke his kamandalu, and after this, so many things he broke. And Srivas Pandit's one brother Shriram saw that, and he got completely confused and completely puzzled and a little scared also, like, did we offend him? Is he angry? What happened? So he went to Srivas Pandit and he's like, Nityananda Prabhu, I don't know, he broke everything in the night and he was roaring like a lion. What happened? I don't know. So Srivas Pandit was like, even I don't know. We should talk to Mahaprabhu about this. So next day, they went to Mahaprabhu and they said that, Nityananda Prabhu was in a very different mood last night, and what happened we don't know. So Mahaprabhu said, Nityananda Prabhu, let's go, we will take a bath in Ganga. Okay, we will go take bath in Ganga. And then everybody followed them. And then they saw Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they both entered in Ganges, and at some distance there were crocodiles. So Nityananda Prabhu started swimming towards the crocodiles at full pace. And all the devotees standing on the bank, they got scared. Wait, Nityananda Prabhu, don't go. Don't go close to the crocodiles. And Nityananda Prabhu held the crocodiles by the tail. He started spinning them. He started hugging some of the crocodiles. And everybody was amazed, what is happening? Lord Chaitanya was standing there smiling. After some time, he said, okay, Nityananda Prabhu, please come back now. And he immediately got pacified, very sober, very nicely, just came out like a very nice, very sober person. He just came out. So after that, when they were gone, Mahaprabhu wanted to test Srivas Thakur. So Mahaprabhu called Srivas. Why do you keep this madman Nityananda in your house? Why do you keep him? Shiva said, my lord, even if he seems like as if he is, you know, in trance, he's in ecstasy, even if he seems like to others, to those who don't know Nityananda, if he looks like a drunkard, even if I lose few things, or my home, or my family, or even if I lose my life because of Nityananda, I will still worship him, because I know that just like Balram is non-different from Krishna, he is non-different from you. The moment Shivas exhibited such faith in Nityananda Prabhu, Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became ecstatic, and he rode and he said, Shivas, you have understood Nityananda Prabhu. You have understood him. This world, we need the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu is going door to door, and he is begging in this avatar that you please take to the process of holy names. It is explained that as long as Varnashram system was properly established in the society, the paths of Karma Yoga and Gyan Yoga were open to attain self-realization. In Srila Harinam Chintamani, it is declared that those paths are closed in Kali Yuga. And because those paths are closed, the only path left is Bhakti Yoga. And in Bhakti Yoga, Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Eva Kevalam, Kalau, Kali Yuga, Nasti Eva, Nasti Eva, Nasti Eva Gatir Anyatha. In this age of Kali Yuga, there is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. Mahaprabhu said, quoting from Vedas, but to chant the holy names, chant the holy names, chant the holy names of Lord Hari, that is Krishna. Hare Krishna, when we say that, Hare, just like Sita becomes Sita, Radha becomes Radhe, Hara is the female potency of Hari, which is Radha Rani, when it comes as Hare Krishna. So these names of Radha and Krishna, they are the life and soul, and how to chant them. He said we should chant them with a humble state of mind. Be a humble person, knowing that we have no qualification when it comes to what do we do to deserve God's association. What can we do but claim, yes, I deserve to be with God? We cannot do anything to get such qualification. Only thing we can do is very humbly surrender to our Guru, to our Vaishnava Guru. And so he said, Trinadapi Sunishtena, be as humble as a blade of grass. Taror eva sahisuna, be more tolerant than a tree. Amanina, don't expect any respect from others. Prabhupada says in Bhagavad Gita, that is genuine humility. And mana dena, be ready to respect everyone else. In that state of mind, you would always be able to chant the holy names of the Lord. Kirtanya Sadahari. The moment he gave these instructions, Srivasa Angan was the spiritual hub of Kirtan. We are talking about Leelas in Srivasa Angan. After this, Mahaprabhu, after giving these instructions to devotees, he really surprised the devotees with his next instruction. He said, we are coming every day to Srivasa Angan, and we are chanting in the days. But what do we do in the night? We are wasting so much precious time sleeping. So from this day, we will continue chanting and kirtan throughout the day, and we'll continue it in the nights every night. We'll continue the kirtan in the nights as well. And every night since then, for 1 year, Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and all the devotees, they performed ecstatic kirtans in the nights. They would get all these torches and they would light up. It would be all in a closed area of the courtyard of Srivasa Angan. And you see Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu dancing with all these Prabhus. This is not different from in bhav, in emotions, the Ras Sthali, the Ras Leela of Krishna. There are several Leelas that happened here. Even if we had 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, still I won't be able to finish those. I would like to tell you in this chronological order of where we decided to talk about what Mahaprabhu gave for us. So we saw the first Sankirtan. We saw how Srivasa Angan became a very special place for Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. And then we saw that after giving instructions to be as humble as a blade of grass, these nightly Sankirtans, they were closed. But once Mahaprabhu was not there, and that's where the Khol Bhanga Danga is the name, another name of Srivasa Angan. That Leela happened. I would like to tell you something about that, because that was the turning point in the movement that Mahaprabhu started, the Bhakti movement. So what happened? That the Mughals were there in India, and the Mughals, they did not like theology different from theirs, the understanding of other religions. And so they wanted to stop Hindus in one sense. So the magistrate, which is translates into as a Qazi, there was a Qazi, a magistrate of that area. His name was Chand Qazi. Chand Qazi was going around the town with his soldiers when they heard these tumultuous sounds of kirtans coming from Srivasa Angan. Srivasa Angan, Qazi became very angry and he told his soldiers, you go in and you beat whomever you can catch. Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu were not there that day. And he himself went in and he wanted to know where is this heavy, melodious sounds coming from. And he figured out that was the mridanga. He picked up one mridanga and he smashed it on the ground. When he smashed it on the ground, the devotees became very disheartened, because it's one of the paraphernalia of the Lord. And just like we worship Krishna's paraphernalia also as non-different from him. This was very inauspicious. And because of this, they told Mahaprabhu that Chand Qazi has done this. Mahaprabhu is Krishna. When Krishna starts this creation, this universe, he also expands into Guna avatars. In Sattva Guna, he becomes Lord Vishnu. In passion, mode of passion, he takes the Guna avatar as Brahma. Or otherwise, if there is a Jivatma, Brahma is a Jivatma. And then for Tamogun, for the process of destruction, Krishna does not destroy. Nandan Krishna never picks up a weapon. So he takes the form in Tamogun as Lord Shiva to perform the activities of destruction. And when partial annihilations, Anshik Pralay, or the time of complete annihilation, Purna Pralay comes, then Lord Shiva becomes very angry seeing the irreligiosity, and he starts dancing in Tandav, and he becomes very angry. And as he takes the dancing steps, the destruction of the universe starts. It is said that Mahaprabhu became so angry on hearing the news that Mridanga was broken, that his face had more anger than the anger that Lord Shiva has during the partial annihilation. The, the very learned people of Nadia, they knew that Mahaprabhu could practically destroy the universe with his anger at that time. Mahaprabhu at that time, for the first time, so it is said, when inauspicious things happen, if we keep faith in the Lord, right, even the most inauspicious things, they turn into something auspicious. Mahaprabhu indeed was very angry, and because of that, he said, we will go to Chandkazi. Gather all the devotees and we all will go. By this time, Nityananda Prabhu had started going door to door, sharing the love, the compassion of the spiritual world, the love of God. It is said, Golokera Prema Dhan Harinam Sankirtan. Harinam, the glories, the holy names of the Lord, they carry with them all the love of God. And it is because that that Nityananda Prabhu had started distributing this love in the communities of Navadvip, Nadia, Mayapur, that there were hundreds and thousands of devotees, just like all of you, have so nicely come here to hear about Krishna, to sing the glories of Krishna. There were hundreds and thousands of devotees, and within no time, they were so organized in sharing this love of Sankirtan movement that within no time, hundreds and thousands of people gathered and they were not afraid. And this is the power of Sankirtan movement with which they all went to Chandkazi. Chandkazi became very scared. At that point, Mahaprabhu invited him for a discussion. And ultimately, I would skip a very very nice part actually. Kazi, after doing this, right, Lord Narsimha came in his dream. And Lord Narsimha got on his chest and said, if you troubled my devotees, I will rip your heart open like I ripped it for Hiranyakashipu. And in the morning when Kazi woke up, he saw there were marks on his body from that dream. And after this event happened, and Mahaprabhu said, sit down, let's talk. The first thing he shared was, I'm very scared. You see, this is what happened. Do you know who this personality is? And Mahaprabhu told him about Lord Narsimha. The Qazi was ultimately pacified. And then it was decided, Qazi declared, that in my town, nobody is going to interrupt the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, this Sankirtan movement of Mahaprabhu. From that day, Nagar Sankirtans began. With this, I am done with the Leelas, and I would take just a little bit of more time to now talk about the lessons that we can learn from this. Lessons from this personality, Srivas Pandit, who is a person like you and me, a devotee of Krishna. We are trying to be devotees of Krishna. And that place, that community, let's talk about that. So Srivas Pandit, one day, what happened was, Mahaprabhu, he asked, Srivas, you have a family, right? Yes. When do you go for work? He's like, I do devotional service whole day. It's like, yes, I see you do devotional service whole day, and then you are chanting, and then you do kirtans, and in the nights also you are doing kirtans. So how do you maintain your family? And Shiva said, oh, that. And Mahaprabhu is like, what is that? So he said, if 3 times food does not come to me, I will fast. And then I will tie a water pot around my neck. I'll take whole my family and we will all jump in the Ganga, in the Ganges, and we will drown. And Mahaprabhu was like, why? Why? What is that? He said, my Lord, whole my life, I have only one desire. I want to surrender my life to Krishna. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana parupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogasyemam vahamyaham. Those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Lord maintains his devotees. If Lord did not maintain me, then Lord is saying something which is not true, and I will go and I'll jump in the Ganges. Mahaprabhu said, Srivas, why? Why should you fast? Even if Lakshmi, who's the goddess of all fortune, becomes poor, then also poverty will not enter your house. Wherever Lord's holy names are chanted, Lakshmi would never leave that place. So, what is the difference? The difference is that I may have some sort of devotion and I may be trying to reach that pure devotion, but this is very high state. I may not be able to do what he is doing, but I can do one thing. I can aspire for it. I can aspire for Keval Bhakti. Okay, I cannot give up my job today. I cannot stop earning. I'm not that pure. I know that Krishna will maintain me, but I have some fear because I'm still having anarthas. But at least I can desire. That is the first lesson, that we can at least desire that maybe once I retire, just giving an example, maybe as soon as I retire, after that all I want to do is Kevala Bhakti. Only devotional service. So what is the difference right now? Why cannot it be pure devotional service? Why it cannot be as pure as Srivas? Because I'm going to work, and the idea that Bhagavad Gita explains is that if I dovetail that with Krishna's bhakti, then my work also becomes devotional service. It is like I want to eat pizza, so I can offer pizza to Krishna, and that way it becomes devotional, so I can have that. So there's a process, but it is sad, my dear friends, dear devotees, that chance favors a prepared mind. Opportunities favor a prepared mind. So when the opportunity arrives, if I'm hankering for Kevala Bhakti, then I'll be ready to take it up. Otherwise, sometimes, if we are not ready, everything is there, but the desire is not there. So, firm faith that Lord protects us. And in Guru Puja we sing, Shri Guru Charana Padma, Kevala Bhakati Sadma. When I look at my senior God brothers over here, His Grace Ramchandra Prabhu, Gopal Govinda Prabhu, His Grace Ram Tulsi Prabhu, I just know some of the people, some devotees, dear devotees in ISKCON Bergen County. When I see them that they are trying to spread this love of God through this Harinam Sankirtan, trying to share this so beautiful movement in every town and village, just like the Lord desires, then I know that they are taking the shelter of the instructions of Guru. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way to attain pure devotional service. And I bow down to his lotus feet, and I bow down to the lotus feet of my elder God brothers for that. Another thing is that on this path, there are pain is a constant companion. Pain, I'm not going into that past time, but Shiva's son passed away, and he still did not interrupt the festival for the pleasure of the Lord. Again, he is the topmost of devotees, and the examples that he set are not something that we can even imagine doing, but we can take inspiration. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya, right? This coming and going of, happiness and distress in this life is like coming and going of seasons which arise from sense perception. One must learn to tolerate. When we learn to tolerate, then we are able to make progress. No pain, no gain. And last, you can achieve this if you will have Vyavasayatmika Buddhir. I'm speaking to myself that my experience has been that most of my problems of looking in fault in others, arguments, disagreements, or lamenting for what has been lost, or hankering for something, they all become very small when one becomes serious for devotional service, serious for self-realization. Seriousness for devotional service burns down and really make our material problems look very small. I'm about to end. Prabhuji, can I go a little more, or what do you suggest, Gopal Govind Prabhu?
Go ahead. It's okay.
Okay. Okay. I will skip all the pastimes and I'll skip all the stories. Few more points to learn. And this is once I have taken inspiration as a person, being serious in my self-realization, the next thing which automatically gets solved is the qualities of Srivasa Angan. What made Srivasa Angan so prominent was the devotee community. When like-minded people who are serious for self-realization come together, then what happens? Their topmost priority becomes the topmost reality. God is topmost. And so what can be more important than God? Nothing. That's a reality. When we become serious for self-realization, then this God who is topmost, he becomes our topmost priority, which is basically, in other words, setting things right. And if I'm sitting at home trying to do this, it's very difficult. But when I can take shelter of my senior God brothers, like His Grace Yugal Kishore Prabhu, who are God brothers with, the seniors in ISKCON, Bergen County, then it becomes a very, very enjoyable experience. So another point that comes after that, Krishna says, Tesham Jnani Nitya Yukta. I'll just read the translation from Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, out of my devotees who are always engaged in devotional service, those who are in full knowledge, they are very dear to me, I am very dear to them. So that's why it becomes our most important responsibility to be eager to learn scriptures. Bhagavad Gita, then Srimad Bhagavatam, then Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then once we are done with reading and reading again and hearing again, a natural desire that develops is to acquire the wealth. What is that wealth? Vaishnava relations. Srivasa Angan was special because the devotees there valued Vaishnava relationships over everything else. It's not important in relationships to know who is right and who is wrong. It does not matter. It does not matter who is right and who is wrong. What matters is the relationship itself, right? This is the spirit of Srivasa Angan. Srivasa Angan is an ideology which represents Sankirtan movement. Sankirtan movement, as I said, is this desire to share the love of God with everyone. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. People around us are one family of Krishna. And so why would I not want to share the love of Krishna with my brothers and sisters? This is the ideology. And this ideology, you see, dear devotees, ideology exists in its activities and activities alone. If I speak about it, but if I don't do anything, where does the ideology exist? Ideology does not exist anywhere. But if we act upon that, it exists in those activities. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, एकाकी हमारा नहीं पाया बाला हरिनाम संकीर्तने. Alone, I cannot do this. Nobody in today's age can walk on spiritual path alone. And why do you want to trouble yourself with that? We need like-minded peoples to come together and share these beautiful relationships. This was the idea that Srila Prabhupada had, with which he came out and followed on the path that Mahaprabhu had given. Mahaprabhu had said, Prithvite achayat nagar adi gram, sarvatra prachar haibe mora naam. In every town and village, the chanting of my names will be spread. And that is the spirit of Sankirtan. Think global, act local. Our aims be very high. Let them be very high. We want to share this love, spread this love all over the world. And where do we start? We start in each and every town, village, and county, wherever we are, right? This is the idea of chasing the rhino. For the sake of time, I will not get into this. I absolutely love it, but it's exactly this, that you aim for a very high goal. And how can we do that? Even if we fail, it's okay. It's okay to fail, right? I will not get into these. But the pain that we take for setting a very high goal in spirituality, the pain is worth it. And if I cannot do it, I can at least help my senior God brothers in whatever way I can. And I will skip this last point also, just one point then, and which is the last point is about festivals. I especially called his Yugal Kishore Prabhu. He had spoken about what a festival is. And he picked up a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam and he said 5 things make it a festival. There is singing, playing of instruments, dancing, blessings of brahmanas, and prasadam. If you see, all our ISKCON centers have this. This is how Mother Yashoda did a festival when Krishna's name-giving ceremony happened. This is from 10th canto. So that's my meditation for the upcoming Hari Utsav that all of you would be celebrating. Let us have that consciousness that the festivals are one very beautiful way of attracting every section of society. They are the best way of reaching out to new people who are interested to know. They see the beauty of our culture and they ask about it. You know, it nourishes people of all gunas, of all varnas, and even degrees of bhaktas, some neophyte like me, and even swamis and senior devotees. Everybody is attracted by festivals. All the 9 processes of bhakti coexist in a festival. And what to talk of just the outreach, I must tell you, dear devotees, what is happening in spiritual world. What do they do daily? Do you know? In spiritual world also, in Vaikuntha planets, it's the festivals which are happening every day, day after day. It's continuous festivals. So with that, I would say that we all have a good side and a not so good side, or a dark side to us, and a more service oriented side. We all have that one thing that we can do selflessly for others, and that can be utilized in serving the Lord. So, with that message, I would like to stop here. I'm sorry for going a little overboard, and I really pray that your God Purnima be very ecstatic. If you have any comments or suggestions, please tell me. And if you have any questions, I'll try my best to answer them. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Wonderful, wonderful explanation. You brought us the Srivas Angan in front of us. Your explanation so artistically played out. We were like almost there. Just that it was pulled in with the stretch of the time, actually. So, so yeah, we are bound by that. But very nice explanation. And in the theme of Kirtan, let's continue with that. And devotees, I would like to request you, if you have any questions and comments for Prabhu's explanation and the class, please put it on the chat, raise your hand. We'll take the turns on that. In the meantime, Prabhu, may I have your permission to announce few things,
Please.
just
Yes, please.
take a minute or two?
Yes, please.
Uh, Thank you. So just give me a little minute. Let me just share a few things.
Yes, please.
Okay. So with the, we all know that God Purnima is coming, and as Prabhu explained, the very first celebration for the God Purnima on the eve of God Purnima on Saturday will be bringing the theme of Srivas Angan, as he was explaining, in the Vinson County Park, in and we'll be doing a nice ecstatic kirtan by the Krishna's will. Hopefully, weather permits, everything should be fine. Program will be held at Benson Park, 2164 Paramus, New Jersey, and that's timing is 2 to 5. And everybody, whoever is available, please feel free to stop by and participate in this. It's a open space, so I hope there should not be any concerns of the social distancing. Okay, and with that, we begin our Gaur Purnima celebration next Sunday. There's a line of events, and I would like devotees to make a note of it. All these details are also posted on our website, ISKCON of Bergen. The and the program starts 5 p.m. onward. There'll be kirtan, siksha program, Sunday school presentation by the kids. Ritual skits will be there, beautiful skits to have a little bit of entertainment. No festival is there, as Prabhu said, that there should be a lot of singing, dancing, and blessings of all the senior Vaishnavas. So all that is included in this festival. And there'll be a live abhishek of Lord, and there'll be everybody can participate in that. You can decorate your altars, and we'll take turns in giving those darshans on the Zoom. And there'll be a 56 food of bhoga offerings after the Abhishek. Those who wants to participate in that, they can the details will be provided on the WhatsApp group as well as on the email soon after today evening, and you can select and you can contact as details will be provided in that. And so you can provide the bhoga offering. Bhoga offerings means no onion, no garlic. The vessels which you are using, they should not be used for any of the contaminated items like meat and all those eggs and all that should not be there in the those vessels. If you are participating in the bhoga offering, try to keep it as clean as possible. This is for Lord's pleasure, and the cleanliness is one of the founding principles for that. During the program, we'll be having very nice, like as Prabhu said, blessings is part of the program. So we'll be having Prabhupada's disciple, His Grace Nirantar Das Prabhu. He's a great musician and he provides nice classes. So he'll be giving us some of the realizations. And I, I believe right after that, His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami Maharaj will also be appearing for a short talk. At the end of the program, there will be Maha Aarti, and we'll be also doing a nice quiz, Kahoot quiz, just to bring the attention to the knowledge what you acquired in the program. So, and all these details are also available on our website. I don't know. Okay, just one second. Do you see my website? Is it? No. Let me share one more time. So this is our website, ISKCON.Bergen.org. All the details are here about the program, and the details. One more second. Okay, so if you need to donate on this day, any auspicious day happens, if we have a birthday of our family members, we try to give some gift, right? So this is the birthday of our dear most Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So any little gift, whatever you want to offer, you can click on this donate button on the website and donate that. You can also participate with the Bhoga offering, any way you want to do. You can take the Siksha program, promise to do more rounds. And on this auspicious day, we are also promoting or rather providing Chaitanya Charitamrita 9-volume set book. You click on this button, just this one on the website. It pops up with all the details and you fill up this form and we'll send the beautiful Chaitanya Charitamrita. What is Chaitanya Charitamrita? Just now you heard these beautiful explanations by Prabhu. This is all written in this beautiful series of books, and so many nice stories are there. These stories are applicable for all walks of life. It includes the essence of Chaitanya Charitamrita include the essence of Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, any of the literatures you see, like some senior devotees, they also explain it. It's like the milk, like a baby, the mother feeds the breast milk to the baby, which is like all the nectar only. There's nothing in there. You don't have to digest. So that's what Chaitanya Charitamrita is. So I would request and beg all the devotees who don't have Chaitanya Charitamrita, please take a moment and go to this website and order your book, and we'll do our best to deliver you as far as possible, as soon as possible. Please take the moment and participate in this. It's nothing. If the cost is bothering you, please reach me. But this is an opportunity for you to participate in this and behold the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And this is a great moment. Thank you so much. Sorry I took a little longer time, and Okay, and let me just run down with the programs over here. All right, so so on Sunday, that same day, Gaur Purnima day, Maharaj is speaking 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Please make a note of it. It's beautiful class. First time ever. Maharaj has not spoken in US conferences for a long time, almost 10 years. So this is an opportunity for you to hear him. His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami Maharaj. And then right after that, in the evening time, we'll have this Nirantar Prabhu's talk time. Okay, and in addition, as we have ton of programs in the whole week. On Wednesday, actually, we have a program on. We have Wednesday Sangha every Wednesday, 8:30 to 10. So this time, His Grace Jagat Sakshi Prabhu will be coming, and then Gaur Purnima, and then on Thursdays we do the story programs, and then we do the we have the Sunday school, as well as we have um, afternoon program, afternoon Bhagavad Gita reading 12 to 12:15, and morning Japa program 6 to 8. With that, thank you so much. Please visit this website, iskonofbergen.org. All the information is there. And don't forget this yellow button. I beg you, please take a chance to participate in this. Hare Krishna. So with that, let me see questions now. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right. So, Swagsi, do you have a question?
Hare Krishna, yes, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it comes in Bengali as well, the book.
Yes, it is available in Bengali.
Okay. So is it possible for you to bring one Bengali as well?
Yeah, so please reach me on this. The information is there on that, and I'll post my information as well. You can reach me. I'll help you with the orders and any other questions about the books.
Okay, thank you so much. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Any other questions? I'm sorry, I'm just getting a little blind on this. Ramchand Prabhu, you have a question?
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I just have a comment actually. Very nice class, Prabhu. Very inspiring. You spoke from the heart and all the pastimes to capture. These are very beautiful pastimes, and the way you captured it in such a short time was very nectarine. Thank you very much. Very beautiful. We can go on and on about this. We could have like a part two of this series. And it just makes me the mood of the Yupal Kishore Prabhu, Ji, who's, under whose guidance you are being nurtured, bringing that mood of Farmington community there. So thank you very much.
Prabhuji, you are so kind. Every time, as I was saying, every time I speak to senior devotees, I feel like I'm a student sitting in a viva, and you all are my teachers. And literally, I see you all very inspiring. I have had very limited association with you just by one Bhagavatam class, but I could feel this sense of this preacher. A soldier in the army of Mahaprabhu. I see you as that, Prabhuji, and that is very inspiring for me, Prabhuji. So thank you so much to you for your association.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, can you just share how can one, how can we develop this mood? Uh, as you mentioned, we cannot copy our acharyas. We cannot artificially, but how can we create this mood of uh, ecstatic kirtan, diving completely into the mood, remembering the Lord, where we forget things around us. We're just so engrossed in the chanting, in the kirtans, we forget things around us, not in a negative way, in a good way. And when I say
Yes.
forget things I mean, forgetting our problems, our stresses, and all this. Can you just share a little bit?
Hare Krishna. I'm so thoroughly unqualified to say anything on that. Um, my experience is the power of Sankirtan also lies in um, numbers in one sense, yes. So like if we have been to Sadhu Sangha, you will feel the energy of Sadhu Sangha itself is very different. So there are two, three factors that attract us. So somebody may get attracted to just the music side of it, and sometimes in the beginning it's very helpful that when somebody sings with so much emotion and with so much devotion that we are attracted sometimes by the music, but then we do get into that. As the knowledge part increases, then, and with that, not just that I'm hearing Bhagavad Gita, but I'm not bringing any change. So when I see, when Prabhuji was sharing, getting up early in the morning and chanting, or reading Srila Prabhupada's books, we start having this consciousness on a daily basis, or whenever I read Srila Prabhupada books, of being in those thoughts. And this is the power of sadhana for an individual, that when I try to chant, when I try to read books, I'm able to connect to a consciousness, a feeling which disconnects me to a great extent through to my anxieties. And there's always a balance, kind of something happens very disturbing, and then I cannot think of anything other than that. But sometimes we have these festivals, and at that time we cannot think of anything else also. We are so much immersed in that nice experience of a festival, or an amazing kirtan that I sung. Somebody sung and I heard. So being part of that. So in the beginning, it is these experiences of a very nice kirtan, very nice festival, very nice prasad, and I hanker that I wish I could have those. I hanker I could go to a place like Sadhu Sangha, North Carolina, where I'm disconnected from rest of the world, and then we start relishing those experiences. As we move forward in our bhakti, the idea that comes is, for me, I realize that my habits are in laziness of tamogun and in selfishness of rajogun. And the more I try to follow my seniors like your good selves, then I can come into sattva, the knowledge and the service, the selfless service. When I see the senior disciples, the families giving their everything to Guru, it it makes me emotional to see my situation. What am I doing for God? I also want to be in God's army, right? And so what can I do? And with that selfless attitude, when we serve, and then when we want to take a rest, we come and we sit down in a kirtan, then I'm enjoying it, not just the music part, but the actual shelter part, which is a reality in my life, because I have just executed the instruction that was given to me by my senior. So that connected consciousness that I'm taking into kirtan, that I just served the Lord and I want to continue serve the Lord, and now these are the ways I can relax. So I can go out and do some things which will be painful, and then when I have to de-stress, I come and I sit down, and my senior devotee, my senior Prabhu, now he may not be singing even the melodious song melodiously, but he's singing Hare Krishna, and I'm sitting in front of him, and I feel that shelter, that I am not alone. For me, that surrender makes me feel connected to Krishna, to my seniors, and I feel very nourished. Like I'm feeling right now speaking to you, Prabhuji. I'm sorry, Prabhuji, I cannot answer anything correctly, but I just I just relish this association of yours. Prabhuji, you are on mute.
Yeah, I said thank you very much. Very nicely explained. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Uh,
I think there is a question from Lalit Prabhu. Lalit?
please,
you
Prabhuji,
can-
go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat
Very
Pranam, Prabhuji.
class. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
You made it very lively. So actually, I am a bit confused by something and
Please.
wanted to clarify.
Please.
I humbly apologize if it is a inappropriate question.
Please ask. No question is wrong, Prabhuji. Please go ahead.
So I was thinking of it. So our Mahamantra is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Yes.
So like it was also mentioned today that Srimad Bhagavatam says Krishna is Bhagwan himself. So I was hearing in one of the lectures, I think it was from Amrendra Prabhu a few days ago, that Lord Ram is incarnation of Krishna, no doubt. But Krishna is topmost in gunas, right? Because he's the Bhagwan himself. And gunas in Lord Ram are slightly lesser, in the incarnation of Lord Ram, if I heard it correctly. So why in the Mahamantra I have Lord Ram and maybe not any other incarnation? Why only Krishna? Why not just Krishna? And why only Krishna and Ram, not Lord Narasimha? So sorry, Prabhu, if it's inappropriate. I was just
No,
thinking.
it's a very beautiful question. So, Lord Narasimha, let me first talk about him. Every incarnation that comes, it comes for a particular purpose and in a particular emotion, bhav. That bhav is reciprocating with bhav of a devotee. So there was Prahlad who was seeking protection, and there was Lord Narasimha who was exhibiting the bhav of protection, giving protection, right? Now, it is like I love my daughter, I love my son, and I may be saying all sorts of, blabbering words of affection. But when I go to office, I don't act like that. I act in a very formal bhav, a very formal emotion. It's not that I have lost the ability. I have not lost that ability, but I will not exhibit that when I am in office. The same ways, when Lord Narasimha comes, it's not that he does not have the ability to make friends, but we don't have that emotion where we can think of making friends with Lord Narasimha, actually put our hands around his shoulder and say, Krishna, how are you? With Krishna it is possible, but with Lord Narasimha it's not possible. But he is not lacking that bhav. He has that bhav still, right? Similarly, in 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, once I was hearing His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he says that the Jivatma who has forgotten everything about the Lord, they have only one problem, and that one problem is they have forgotten the greatness of God. The greatness of God, how deeply involved he is in our existence. He says he's Jathar Agni, he's the fire of digestion. He is the taste in water. Chapter 10 is opulence of Krishna, right? So just getting to know how great God is, if one simply gets to know that, then we are situated properly in understanding where God is. This is called awe and reverence. When I get to know that everything around me is somehow a direct or indirect manifestation through God, then I'm filled with awe and reverence. Arey, oh my God is everywhere. My Lord is everywhere. The specific incarnation of the Lord, which attracts this bhav of awe and reverence, and that we can connect to, is Lord Ram. Lord Ram in Ayodhya, he primarily accepts Dasya Ras. Dasya Ras means You are my Lord, I am your servant. That is the most important rasa for a Jivatma who has fallen down in this world, who thinks prakrite kriyamani guna karmani sarvasha ahankar vimudatma karta aham iti manyate. One who thinks that I am the doer of the activities. For such a soul, the most important thing is to come to this knowledge that humble yourself down, your false ego down a little, and understand the greatness of God. Try to become a servant of His. And what to talk of becoming servant of God? Servant of the servant of the servant of a great devotee, right? Let me be that. This is the specific, very important need of a Jivatma, that he can do so by Lord Ram. This is the beginning stage. But Hare Krishna Mahamantra is not just for the beginning stage. In the higher stage, I must tell you, my better half was, anyways, she was initiated as Radhika Gopika. I was initiated as Ram Kumar. We were trying to understand if there's a relationship, and a very interesting thing happened. I used to have my on my phone a radio of my Guru Maharaj, Radhanath Swami Maharaj radio, and it would just play random lectures. So right after my day of initiation, the next morning, I switched it on, and Maharaj is speaking, and he's saying that Ram, it is also a name of Krishna. When he gives pleasure to Radha Rani, he is called Radha Raman, and Ram is, in that sense, the one who gives pleasure to Radhika. And I was like, I was just meditating on this, and the Guru answers, the Chaitya Guru, the Guru, they manifest this and they give out these beautiful answers. So in the higher stages, we know that when we are saying Hare Ram, we can continue to meditate on the Purna Purushottam form with all the 64 qualities of Krishna. We can continue to meditate on that by chanting Hare Ram also. Does that answer your question?
Thank you, Prabhu. Beautifully explained. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
I see there is one. Hare Krishna. Roji, there's one anonymous question. I don't know if we have this thing for that. The question is, I'll keep it short, is about that I also have a profession, and it brings with me workload and so many things. And so how in such an environment would I be able to share any practical tips or suggestions about how to achieve our professional and devotional objectives? Do we have time, Gopal Govind Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, we can take
Okay,
it.
I will make it quick, Prabhuji. Thank you for that question. It's a very common question. It comes like that, I'm in some work which is not pure devotional service, right? And it has its own challenges, and I am dealing with the world. And then I have these devotional aspirations. And so first is from Bhagavad Gita, we understand that Krishna says Nishkam Karma Yoga, that try to do activities, because that was the whole idea of Bhagavad Gita, that Arjun says, I want to do complete devotional service. That's a very good way for me. It makes sense. Why do you want me to fight? And then he says, no, that's a wrong understanding. Fight you must, right? But change the consciousness in which I am doing. So as a neophyte, I started trying that okay, I'm working, I'm sitting down in front of my computer, and I am thinking back of my mind that I'm doing this for Krishna. Now, a situation that happened for me was that I got a boss who was not like my god brothers, and he was very demanding, very difficult to deal with, and I like to surrender to my superiors. Okay, and so it was very difficult for me to deal with him, because I that is how I want shelter. I want my superiors to be my life and soul, and then this person is obviously not a devotee. And I went to my superiors, and I said, and they told me that managers change, but you are working on an application, you will continue to work on that. And why does it happen to a devotee? Why does it happen to a devotee that some sort of thing is coming to you that you don't want? It only happens, if you will see, Brahmaji says, right, um, that whatever is happening, the verse is Hridavag Vapurbhir, right? Tate nukampam susamikshmano bhunjan evatmakritam vipakam Hrid Vag Vapurbhir vidadhan namaste jivet mukti yopadesa daya bhag. If any sort of pain is coming to you while you have started on the path of devotion, and this problem is coming to you which has got nothing to do with devotion, you must know it is a reaction of your own past misdeed. So I had a time in my life where I had printed this mantra out. Every time I used to return from work, I used to read this and remind myself that anything unwanted that is happening in my life, which has got nothing to do with devotion, is happening because I must have troubled somebody just like this in my past life. This is not an assumption. This is not a healthy assumption. This is a reality. Because universe does not design anything specific to one person. The universe is designed in a universal way. Our experiences are completely based on the reactions of the actions that we have done in the past. So whenever I have to deal with this, as far as hard work is concerned, I can do it thinking that, Lord, this world belongs to you. I am trying to, shed some sweat here, uh, just to purify myself, just so that you give me higher opportunities to serve you in devotion. Right now, I have to do this very, very nectar less, mellow less, dry work, hard work, because I was so dry hearted towards you. So the problems then becomes that, and then when we work in that consciousness, it burns down our reactions. That I'm ready to accept the problems in my life. Then it burns that down. Then Krishna says he's purifying. He's trying to come out of that by humbly accepting the problems and reactions that he has to get. When that happens, then naturally the situations, I have seen them improve. They took time. They took 2-3 years, but they improved. So that is my understanding. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhu, do you have some time? There are two other questions.
Sure, Prabhuji. I can go, Prabhuji. This is my primary occupation. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, so kind of you. Shraddha Mataji, you can go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for a wonderful, wonderful class. So, Prabhu, my question would be that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had an elder brother, Vishwarupa,
Yes.
and he left home for sannyas. So generally in other pastimes, we saw that Lakshman came as a brother, as a younger brother. Balaram came as an elder brother. As you explained, that Nityananda Prabhu is incarnation of Lord Balaram. How do we understand the tattva of Vishwarup Prabhu? I mean, if you could explain a bit on that, that they were real brothers. So
Yes.
if there is a principle to understand that.
Hare Krishna. Uh, quick answer is, Mataji, I don't know. Okay. What I have heard is that Vishwarup is another incarnation of Balramji. And if you see in Gaur Leela, there are several expansions. Everybody joins in Gaur Leela. To keep it very authentic, I only know about Vishwarupa as as to glorify the situation of Mahaprabhu. Glorify the situation of Mahaprabhu by showing that same amount of sacrifice that Lord Ram had to go through. When you take upon a position of leadership, you should know that personal or family priorities, they take a back seat. Just the fact that there was an elder brother and father has passed away makes the taking of sannyas for Mahaprabhu even more difficult. Are you were the younger one. You were supposed to stay. You have a wife, you have a mother who is alone. All these conditions, they are just increasing the intensity of how difficult it is for Mahaprabhu to take sannyas. And that signifies and tells us one very important lesson about all our leaders, that every position of leadership is a position of challenge. If you have had a festival where everything was fantastic, I would want to bow down to the devotees who performed it, because we never get to know how many challenges and pains they take just to make our experience 100 out of 100. And simply by that one avatar, that Vishwarup came and then he left as the elder brother. Okay, the little one will take care of the parents. How difficult it is for Mahaprabhu to take sannyas. It makes that all the more glorious. But that is the limit of my understanding, Mataji.
Nonetheless, very beautiful answer, Prabhu, because there was
Hare
lesson for all of us in there. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
So I'd like to add that Vishwarup actually is none other than Balram also, because he's an expansion. He's Shankarshan. Shankarshan is an
Very good.
expansion of Balaram. So in one sense, he is Balaram. So Balaram is spread in both ways. One is Nityananda and Shankarshan.
Jai. Jai. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Alka Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Ram.
Very, very nicely you took us back to 500 years ago, and you explained how the first Sankirtan happened, and as if it was happening in real time. So thank you for doing that. And I was really thinking about Kevala Bhakti, which is one of the lessons that you talked about. And I was thinking that, Kevala Bhakti, as I understand, it is exclusive devotion to Krishna, wherein you do not think about anything else, no attachments to anybody, but to Krishna. So I'm
Yes.
thinking, wonderful, wonderful ideology, right? And I'm thinking that in today's world, how can even one think of going in that direction? And what are the first steps from your experience, Prabhuji? If you could share, what is one step
Okay.
you can take?
I'm also aspiring, Mataji. So anyone who joins the Hare Krishna movement full time, they disconnect themselves from even karma yoga, because they are not going out earning money or this, that is just the basic. When somebody dedicates themselves to the instructions of Guru, and it manifests as they're taking higher and higher responsibilities, that is a manifestation that they are surrendering to the idea of pure devotional service. They are not they don't have to deal with a situation where oh, I want my 100K job to now become 120K job, and I will give a good portion of this to the movement, so that I can purify my karma yoga, my sakam karma, actually, where I am so attached. It cannot be nishkam karma. It's impossible to think about nishkam karma. Nishkam karma means I am ready to go and work at a job, be a software engineer, and if they don't pay me, it's fine with me. So as long as I'm in the center, it's not possible. Only way is, okay, Krishna is in the center. So if I can be financially so independent that I can have a 100K job, and I will bring that 100K and put it in the lotus feet of the ISKCON temple president, here, this is for Krishna. This will be pure devotional service. Second aspect is, Guru said it. Guru said, Prabhu, I want you to, Ram Kumar Das, I want you to earn, we don't want this. We want people, we want every project requires money. This is my Guru has given it. I will go and I will be the most competitive person in the industry. I want to earn $1 million and bring it to my Guru, right? The idea of pure devotional service becomes very practical and easy when we take the definition by Prahlad Maharaj gives the definition of pure devotional service in 7th canto as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smarnam, Pad Sevanam, Vandanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. These are the 9 processes which are pure devotional service. If a person can take up to just these 9 processes, they do not engage in anything else, no other occupation of Varna, the divisions of the society, then that is pure devotional service. I cannot do it in my situation, practically not possible, all that is fine, but at least I can have that desire. So if I can start thinking about, let's say, my retirement plan, the best retirement plan is given in the Vedas. What is that? Parents stay with kids. That's it. That is the retirement plan we used to have in India. Parents stay with kids, right? And we are part of a very, very nice integral family. Then I retire. I'm waiting for that day. Even if I have to earn right now, the day my son starts earning, I'm done. Now, even if I have familial attachments and I want to be with my family, at least now my 24/7, if I was meditating on this thought from last 15 years, that one day will come when I will have to not think of anything other than serving Srila Prabhupada's mission. Then when that moment arrives, I'm mentally prepared. If I don't desire that in first place, that time will come and go and I will be like, oh, okay, I can do this, I can get that. So that was my takeaway, that let me at least desire for this. And meanwhile, I'll try to make my life as much Krishna conscious as possible.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Beautiful answer, Prabhu. You hit it right on the nail. Desires, spiritual desires. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Devotees, anybody else has any other questions? Just in case we are already. Yogi.
Hare Krishna.
Yogi, go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I have a question about how to do chanting attentively.
Hare Krishna. You should try to find that answer. I'll send you my phone number. You should tell me once you hear that, beta. Even I don't know how to chant attentively. That's a very good question. At your age, I really wish I had that question. First of all, you are chanting. That itself is so inspiring to me. Keep going on, even if, So, what should I say? It's difficult. The truth is, it's difficult, right? And so, when I asked one very senior Prabhu, he told me that we should try to chant and try to attentively chant, thinking about focusing on one mantra at a time. I cannot chant whole round attentively. So my consciousness is, whenever I can think of this question of yours, tomorrow when I'll sit down and chant, I'll think that Yogi Prabhu asked me this question. I will try to chant one round attentively. And if I did that, next round again, I will try to chant one round attentively. Just one. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay. So we start from there and then read Prabhupada books, read Bhagavad Gita, try to apply it in your life, question, very submissively inquire from your elders, whoever inspires you. Okay, so when we start understanding the principles of spirituality, when we start understanding more about Krishna, then we are able to think about Krishna in all our different activities that we do. Earlier, when I didn't read Bhagavad Gita so much, I wanted to think of Krishna, but I cannot think of Krishna when I go to school or I go to work. I completely forget. But the more I learned Bhagavad Gita, it gave me ways to keep remembering Krishna. So when I was a kid, When I had math exam, I would be so much worried about math that whatever I will do, I would be like, tomorrow's my exam, tomorrow's my exam, tomorrow's my exam, right? When we can think about Krishna by reading Bhagavad Gita in all aspects, whatever we are doing, we are thinking about Krishna. Then when you will chant, naturally those thoughts of Krishna only will flow. Okay, so just one thing, try to focus on one mantra at a time. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Gopal Govind Prabhu and Ramchandra Prabhu. I'm extremely grateful to you for giving me this opportunity to try to serve all of you in some humble way. And I wish and look forward to the lockdown being lifted. So when you all very enthusiastically do the Rath Yatra, then we will come and we will try to serve you in some menial ways. That's my desire.
So nice of you. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I'm pretty sure everybody is like so excited to see you in person sometime, hopefully. And today's class was really very touching. The Srivasa Angan's, the way you presented it. Thank you so much. And
Hare Krishna.
on behalf of ISKCON Bergen County and all the devotees, I request you please forgive us in any mistakes we might have
Oh
done.
Krishna. Oh Krishna, you should forgive me, Prabhuji, for anything I have misspoken or out of my, you know, uh, qualification. I'm not qualified, so you please forgive me. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you for your love. And Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So,
Hare Krishna.
with that, I take the permission and to conclude today's session.